Hello and welcome back to Chainsaw Saw 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 Saw. I'm
You okay?
Jim.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Eddie.
And this is everybody's favorite Chainsaw Man manga review discussion podcast. This week we are going to be talking about several chapters. I believe it's chapters 130 through 135.
Is this the biggest chunk of chapters we've had since we started this?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we kind of time got a little bit away from me. We're recording this on the 15th, and like I just realized that JoJo is about to drop as well, which is kind of caught me by surprise. So
at this point, are already leaked out.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
But
yeah, we're here to talk about Chainsaw Man. It was crazy when I reread these chapters for this. I was surprised at like how, I don't know, there's like so much going on here. Like there's so much that like the pathetic like weekly reader will, like me, when I read it weekly, I forget so much shit. Like Fami in particular is a character that I think has so much going on, and you have to like really think about her a lot to see like where her true allegiances lie.
Yeah, and also just in general, a lot has happened in these 5 chapters that has kind of changed how we view a lot of things going forward.
They've been really like going, like when the arc ends, it really just jumps completely to something else in this manga, or part 2 of Chainsaw Man.
Not since like some of the first few chapters since part 2 have I had like so many theories about where I think things are going. Like I feel like Fujimoto is setting stuff up for like this whole like Nostradamus prophecy is a real like big sort of theory engine.
You ready for Nostradamus devil coming in?
Or could Nostradamus be like a dude? Will he like show up as a guy?
Still alive.
That'd be crazy if fucking Nostradamus shows up. Fucking talk about a guy who needs to be shoved into a locker.
Be like the Nostradamus from Records of Ragnarok, is just like a boy.
A little twink. Actually, I don't remember what he looks like.
He was a little femboy.
He is okay.
That destroyed the Bifrost, and so everybody's pissed at him.
Whoops.
Oops, that's pretty much it.
Did I do that?
But yeah, so we're covering 5 chapters, and there's been like a couple bi-weekly devils in between all of some of these,
So yeah, I we'll just get into it. I think 130 is pretty much mostly action.
Yeah. Kill building, it's called.
There were multiple 2-page spreads as well, which felt crazy at the time. I mean, while it was like, oh man, it was mostly action, we didn't get a whole lot of plot going on. I think it's like 5 full-page full-page spreads in a row, or not in a row, overall.
Mm-hmm.
Which they all look beautiful in their own right, from the collapsing buildings to the riding through the buildings themselves, and the sick finishing move.
Yeah.
The chainsaw bike too is just such a fun idea. Like it looks great every time he like ramps it off stuff. It's really great.
Like I even like the spread with like it's called the Falling Devil, like shooting the building out there is really cool. Like you see like the whole like under part of the building. Like
I know that I said I read these recently, but do we know what devil that creature is that eats Denji?
I don't believe it has a name. I thought it looked like a worm for a while.
I would assume worm or something, or I don't know, some kind of bug that would just be,
because it has those like
worm
stingers. And those stingers feel like a very like deliberate or like a very recognizable thing. So there might be some kind of like horrifying worm that has like these poisonous stinger things.
It's also just a devil that's going to have something, I guess, dangerous attached to him. Also just had like, I don't know.
It can also meld its body into like a hammer, so it has a moldability aspect to it, but I don't know if that directly correlates with its power, or if that's just something that devils can do sometimes. I specifically, the image here looks like that famous image of zoom in of a worm's face. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. The final panel specifically.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like those, not electron microscopes, but like those hyper, like zoomed in images. Yeah, really scary. I also love the big tongue. Chainsaw Man just has like such a fun. Like, there's always like such a fun element with the devil design. It's not always like so horrific and grotesque.
Spoiler.
Oh yes, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Okay, that is like eerie how weird those jaws look like a big creature's jaws, like a normal sized creature.
Yeah.
Why you never want to be shrunk down.
Nope, no thank you. He's able to do something kind of cool too, where he like covers his eyes and he turns one of his stingers or whatever you want to call them into himself. Like he's able to, like, I don't know, like pop up out of it, which is pretty neat because technically he was still like behind the door in the last chapter.
Yeah.
He can seemingly move through his body parts.
Yeah, thank you.
I will also say, like, this is just really cementing by Denji or Chainsaw Man is a Kamen Rider. This whole arc of him getting the motorcycle and then, like, Shin Kamen Rider being out around this time. And I think the bike that he steals, I think I talked about this last time, is actually a Kamen Rider bike. So,
that's really funny.
Just a lot of really strong things. Like, him driving through the collapsing building just reminds me of some of the stunt, or some of, I say stunt work, but it's mostly CGI work in like Geats. Like,
oh yeah.
when he does like the castle finisher in like the first episode.
Oh yeah, it is really similar to it's like the most like Devil May Cry, like just doing crazy wacky bullshit by like just riding around while riding. It's actually pretty accurate to that. I didn't even think about that. Fujimoto just like waking up watching Geats on like Saturdays or whatever is just like hilarious to me.
But in the next chapter we have kind of like the funny moment where
Taste of Crap it's called.
He gets Asa and Denji get eaten by this worm creature. And just like a little detail, like I know we've talked about it in the past, but the action in Chainsaw Man is always very like abrupt. It's always really quick. And something that I didn't really quite catch the first time was like Denji kind of almost catches them for a minute. Like he's able to like not fall right in the mouth, and then Falling Devil like uses like gravity forces to like push him in further.
Almighty he spins the bike sideways to get caught in the jaws.
But unfortunately, he is whatever this devil is cannot handle the taste of Denji and Asa together. So much grossness,
and he just starts. It's hilarious. He just starts throwing up. Like
it's too much cringe. Too much cringe.
Too much cringe.
Yeah, you got the cringe fail girl and the cringe fail guy. What is it combined together? A stomach ulcer.
Too much cringe in your diet. You must die.
That should have been like the deleted scene in the Dragon Ball Z Cell arc. Like Cell like absorbs like a redditor, and it literally kills him because like the cringe is too high.
It's one of those joke from like the Budokai 2 where like he absorbs like the shittiest absorption possible and just like hates it and dies of cringe.
10 Reddit mods.
He absorbed like Tien and Yamcha and he's like, really depressed about it.
Yeah, that's funny. I love when they did that stuff.
Yamcha.
Yeah, they did a little fusion too. I remember. I love that.
Yeah, there was Gokruel as well, which was just Goku with like an afro mustache.
But so I love I know we're probably not gonna see her for a while if we ever see her again, but I just love these moments with Falling Devil where she's so upset that the devil threw her meal up, saying like, I made that meal with love. It's just like
it's so good because of the thing that all the devils fear. If like the Falling Devil makes you a meal, you have to eat it. So like the idea of just she is just so heartbroken that she fed this person. She went through all this hard work.
She goes through every emotion in like the span of a couple pages.
And the funniest part is like it seems like she does her strongest attack on the devil like out of anger.
The sky laser that makes like his intestines come out of his mouth.
Just completely eviscerates him. It's so fucking funny.
She fucking hit him with the end game Resident Evil 5 weapon.
Yeah, the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War. Oh my god. But yeah, then Fami just loves to just teleport in, or she no clips in.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she
she does just like appear.
She just no clips through the ground, like I'm here. And apparently, this Fami has like kind of control over falling, or like falling just works with like her boss's Fami. It's very interesting.
I'm guessing like a pact was made. Like
It's her
like,
manager.
it
She's like the
seems-
chef, and Fami's her manager.
It makes me curious if primals are now below horsemen, or if the horsemen are higher. Because we know that Makima went toe-to-toe with darkness, and Fami just completely, like, returned falling to some sort of, like, miniaturized state, like fucking the shrunken body curses that Mahito makes in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah, wow, that is like exactly like that.
Also,
Once again, Chainsaw Man doing Jujutsu Kaisen better than Jujutsu Kaisen.
Damn.
Also, man, that scene of her like turning her back just really does remind you that the head being used that entire time was just some other person's head.
Yeah. And she, like I said, she stole her clothes and like just used her head as like it just as like it's a vessel, I guess. But I think we were saying like the darkness level is just at the top of a totem pole for primals. So like I don't know where falling falls on the. We've only seen like 2 of them, but
Yeah, it's weird to like think about ranking them, honestly, because they
power
are
scaling.
Power scaled. The biggest fears, top 10 biggest fears.
If I type that in on Google right now and like, okay, top 10, like
It's got to be like, I mean, obviously, like I would assume death would probably be
top 10 biggest fears.
Because falling
epicest
was
most
more
ultimate.
than just like the act of falling. It was like the concept of like falling to your dark desire, or like
Yeah.
it was just the concept of falling and everything that could be correlated to. So I can see how that one could be pretty strong. Darkness is just the natural fear.
The top 10 most common phobias and fears by the Baptist Health. I don't need. Okay. I need to scroll down. Okay, here we go. Arachnophobia. It's up there.
Okay, that's a bit.
The fear of heights is up there, of course.
Sure.
Fear of flying.
Nah.
No.
I mean,
Fear of snakes.
Honestly, the fear of flying is just the fear of falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear of snakes. Fear of dogs.
Damn,
The dog devil would
these
be
all
scary.
have appeared in Chainsaw Man already. We already have
I
snake. We already
Okay,
have
wait.
spider. We already have falling. Darkness.
Fear of injections. Like needles.
Oh, that would fuck me up. I wouldn't like to. I would not want to see that devil.
There's the fear of thunder and lightning.
Fujin,
I'm not gonna try to pronounce these phobias, by the way.
For dogs, what? If you're a fucking dog?
fucking Fujin and Raijin show up.
I also just think of that episode of Young Justice, Jim, where
Oh my
Halo's
God,
like
yeah.
Damn.
horrified of thunder and lightning.
I'm now
It's
thinking
so
of
funny.
it, and this is mostly because you were also rewatching Double recently. But saying Fujin and Raijin show up, man, Weather would look fucking perfect as a Chainsaw Man devil.
That would be. And there are a lot of like horrific ways to use that power. It'd be very. I got my fear. I got the doll in that show, and that like freaked me out. A bit. Okay, fear of being alone.
That
Fear
could be
of-
like a good one for like the end of the
Ooh,
series.
Fear of germs.
Oh, germophobia.
It's just a giant amoeba.
Germophobia. Fear of
Germa.
Fear of germa.
Terrified
then
of Germa.
The fear of social interactions.
So that's just Asa's spirit animal.
It's a social phobia, aka social anxiety disorder. Thanks.
All right. We didn't have any wonderful like revelations from that, unfortunately.
I think fear of needles would be like that's like someone's OC that they would put in there.
Yeah.
I am the injection devil.
I'm gonna
give you
HIV.
Fear of the vaccines. Just kidding. Americans are feeling that devil like crazy.
But so back to the chapter. We learn the reason why the guy threw up. The devil threw up because our good old friend Nayuta was
She no
hanging
clips
out,
in. She no clipped in too.
and she just put a little. She said she just changed the brain a teeny bit so that humans tasted like quote unquote literal crap.
I
I'm just
love
thinking of,
her
like-
smug face in that first panel, sitting on both Asa and Denji.
It's
You made me-
great.
You know, made me think of them just spawning in like Halo when you spawn to the map, where you kind of do a little like, seems like you do like a little fall or whatever, where you just kind of like
Yeah, you're like 1 inch off the ground. Yeah.
reminds me of. But yeah, we kind of get a discussion of sisters. I guess they're all aware that they're sisters at the confirm.
Yeah, no,
this is really interesting.
This seems to confirm that Nayuta has some sort of awareness of what she is.
Yeah, she's aware of her sister's war and famine, and who knows where the other sister could possibly be.
Which makes me wonder if she even considered Asa when, because when she calls Asa or Yoru a thief and like turns her into a dog, that was Yoru making the first move. I don't know if Nayuta cares if Denji got together with Asa, because Asa's just a person. Yoru was a fucking whatever she is, devil.
Special fiend.
She's a devil. Like she's a devil, but she's, I guess, a devil variant. I guess is a weird way. It's hard to describe what they really are.
It's
Double devil.
Special class devil. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll always just introduce the special rating to whatever your power system is. That's the
more
easiest cop out.
More power scaling.
That was like one of my biggest complaints about Jujutsu Kaisen when we first started watching it. It felt like they like did not know like what terms to use for like power scaling. It was like super class. It's one of those things where it was like they created a whole like 1 through 5 system, but then it's like the only thing that matters is like the secret 6 super system.
Well, they were the power scaling of like the main characters, and then there was like the actual like devils or whatever, demons.
Now, to
that
be
also had
fair,
their
the
power
series
scaling.
itself does call attention to that when one of the characters goes, somehow we're ranked in the same class, they really need to fix this.
Somehow
That's kinda
Palpatine has returned. But hey, that's back. That's gonna be coming back.
No,
Yes,
it
I
is
haven't
back.
started watching
The
season
fucking,
two
It is
yet.
back.
the fucking best arc is currently going on. That shit's awesome.
We're gonna watch some of that shit soon.
I know it was like the first arc. Like there's 2 arcs in this season, so yeah, we're cutting it. We're not gonna do episode by episode. We're gonna like cut it up and for our own sanity. But I'm excited to watch it because I hear good things about the arcs coming up.
Yeah, no, they're 2 of the best arcs in the series.
It's a lot of fun. It's a very fun series.
I can't wait to see if Jim can remember what happened in the first season.
That's my like. I remember the Black Flash was the coolest thing ever. I want to see more of this. Not immediately though. I want them to like build up to it. Like build up to like a really good Black Flash moment. It's my favorite.
Like the movie had.
Yeah, like the movie when I like literally like screamed when they did it in the movie.
Which is so
I think I
funny
actually did
because in when it happens in the movie, that does not happen in the original story.
Yeah, which that's probably the best thing they could have done to improve the source material.
More pogs per minute.
That was so good. I fucking love that movie. It was so much fun.
Very good movie. I want to rewatch.
Jujutsu Kaisen is just fun. It's just really fun. Yeah, I'd watch that again.
That second half of that show.
I want to watch it in
first season.
a full theater though. It has to be full of like.
We had like a full theater.
Yeah, that was the best experience.
Like I think that Konosuba, and I feel like out of all the Shin movies, Shin Kamen Rider probably had the most packed theater.
Yeah,
oh man,
there
Shin
were a ton of
Kamen Rider
people
was
there.
such a fucking good movie. Oh my god.
It was a lot
really
of
like,
fun. I like that one.
except for one action scene.
Okay, yeah, I mean there was that pitch dark action scene where you couldn't see
Yes.
fucking anything, but
It wasn't even that. It was pitch dark, and they kept every time one of the like evil Kamen Riders died, the whole screen flashed white. And I was so mad that I actually closed my eyes. I was like, I'd rather not watch the scene than get like fucking like flashbanged every few seconds.
I think I went home to like get my eyes off of that scene. I just watched like one of the Geats fight scenes that I really love. I have like bookmarked on Twitter that I can just rewatch. Oh my god!
All right, I don't want to keep. we're like trying to steer this ship back.
But okay, so the evil bad guy plans, and the Fami doesn't want it to happen because she won't be able to eat delicious, horrible food that we humans make.
yeah, no,
Like,
Fami seems to be on the side of humanity in a way.
This kind of blew my mind. I really didn't expect this because everything has been telling us that Fami is like the evil controlling type, to compare it to Makima, like Makima always had like a kind of like sinister mystery behind her, but
ulterior motives is like behind her eyes.
Yeah, with this, it's like unless Fami is literally just like playing everyone, it seems like she. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but like based on what happens in the next few chapters, it seems like the reason why she doesn't want Denji to like do the Chainsaw Man stuff is it seems like him going full Chainsaw Man again is like going to be good for the prophecy happening.
Apocalypse will happen.
Yeah, it seems like I'm in my fan theory, because they kind of bring up this idea of weaker devils eating stronger devils to get stronger. I think that the Nostradamus prophecy probably has something to do with like some like moderate sized devil or whatever eating Chainsaw Man and becoming like evil hell on earth.
You know they call it the King of Terror, which I believe is like the big bad devil man name. I think that's the name they gave like the devil from the Bible.
The devil from the Bible.
They call him. His friends call him
I
Lucifer.
Missed that. Was that in this set of chapters or was that earlier?
I think that was earlier when they were talking about. I think it's when they're talking about the Nostradamus prophecy for the first time. It's like the King of Terror will rise, or they might say the King of Hell will rise.
Okay.
And then the Winchesters will come in there and solve the issue.
Hey, they'll come in there and they'll fail the first time. They'll come in there and one of them will turn evil, and then they'll come in there and then they'll solve the issue.
They'll die a couple times. They'll get better, but...
They'll get better, but they'll get worse. But they'll get better, but they'll get worse.
And we'll meet an angel, and everybody will love him more than anybody else. The first 5 seasons of Supernatural are very good.
They're the best. It's the best SMT storyline possible. If you view Dean's journey as the protagonist,
and you know who's in the Supernatural anime, Jim? Gacked.
Gacked? No. Anybody but him.
If you want to know, before this podcast, we had a very deep discussion about Gacked.
All right, we can say it. We were gacking off before this podcast.
There's a picture of him with a chainsaw, and so Gak can canonically appear in Chainsaw.
That's right, there's your thumbnail image. Gak with the chainsaw, confuse everybody.
Fami comes out and says, somehow, someway, Gak has returned. Genesis is back, baby.
But I just love that immediately Nayuta, Fami's able to get Nayuta on her side by just saying that, like, oh no, if the Nostradamus prophecy happens, there will be no more pizza or Chinese food. Like,
I just want this anime to hear this discussion. Like no way. Like, I know it's the worst possible scenario.
I love Nayuta's mannerisms and actions. Like, some people say she acts like Power. She acts very much like Denji.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the Denji energy for sure. Even just the end of this chapter, I always forget about the end of this chapter. Like, they had this super serious conversation. Like, we also learned something cool about Fami's power. But then she's like, "Oh, will you help me?" She's like, "No, I have school." And then it's this hilarious shot of her raising her hand and
it's so good. It's one of the best fucking final panels in the series.
Oh, it's so funny and I love it. I love it. It just shows that Nayuta is literally just Denji. It's two Denjis. And I love that for them. I love it. There's a lot of sweet little moments between the two Denjis.
But also, Fami wants to starve War so she can turn her into her pawn as well.
So we learn that she can use people that are starving, which makes sense about the aquarium, because by trapping somebody in an infinite space like that, eventually they would run out of food.
I'm assuming she controls everybody in the club, because that's who was there as well.
And I wonder if she means starving as in, actually just the physical act of starving, or starving in some manner, starving for attention, starving for, I wonder if there's a play on words there. But...
I mean, Chainsaw Man has those, very, rules that are like that, where, oh, if you think you own it, it's yours, then yeah, you can use your power. They could just do loopholes with your powers in this.
Yeah. And I do like that we are getting more establishments of, the different power sets that, Makima, she needed to believe she was better than someone to control them. Fami needs them to be starving in some regard. War needs to believe they own them in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to have these, interesting restrictions on these almost restrictiveless powers.
It's really good, and like it's funny that I think you can point to a lot of these newer Shonen Jump series of how they use a lot of kind of Shonen conventions in like way more condensed ways. Because like I think of like Dr. Stone as well, kind of taking a lot of Shonen formula and doing something totally different with it. Like normally the power conditions and restrictions is like such a big thing. Like think of like Hunter x Hunter. But in this, it's just kind of, it's not an afterthought, but it's just like very briefly kind of dropped. And they know that as like a fan of manga, you kind of can pick it up and appreciate it.
Yeah. Chainsaw Man doesn't waste its time. I think Fujimoto has said in the past that he doesn't like to over-explain things, and he believes that his audience will just understand it.
Yeah.
That's why he did the International Assassin's arc.
That was the biggest tested faith I think I've ever seen a mangaka do.
It's kind of crazy, actually.
But that would be like, wait up, just let me cook. Just let me cook. And then we got the whole darkness.
He's like, I promise it'll be good. I promise it'll pay off. And then the fucking astronauts showed up. And
you have the biggest cum ever. I'm just like existing like this all these chapters as well. Just like who's gonna be fed up with everybody's bullshit first? Like, Yoshida or Fami? Like everybody they interact with is just like the most uncooperative people. And we're just tired of it. I can't wait till we get to Yoshida stuff. Yoshida stuff is so funny.
It's funny because there's kind of like a power vacuum after Makima went away, where it's like all these lesser groups are trying to kind of like squabble for the power. Like you got War, you have Fami's like kind of has something going on, but clearly like she's not like the most put together. Like her plans keep getting foiled.
I mean,
and
even
we really don't know like what's his name, Octopus's whole thing is. We still don't really know like exactly the extent of the public safety now.
We know he works for the organization.
Yeah,
Kishibe's lurking around somewhere as well. Who the fuck knows where he's
at? He just had a heart attack off camera.
No, he had just an alcohol shortage, and he's like freaking out. He can't like find any more alcohol.
He gave the cat back, and then he's like, "Watch after this kid walk 3 feet off screen and just die."
No one ever found him.
Our Halo comparison, he just like left it says Kishibe left the game, and he just like teleported out.
It's like the end of I think it's Nisei Monogatari with Kaiki's story.
I haven't seen that one.
My only Monogatari now scene that I've witnessed is the toothbrush scene. So
it's just great because it's a guy giving his own story, and then the fun part about that series is that it's full of unreliable narrators, and he says spoilers, but it actually doesn't matter because he's lying when he says this. He says that he dies in his own story that he is telling you.
He doesn't.
Awesome.
And it's great.
Nice.
Because it's just like a sudden act of violence that he brings up so that he can write himself out of other people's lives. Because he is one of the best characters. There's a lot of people who call him Best Girl. Because I think in his first appearance, like he's built up as this scary guy who intimidates the main character. And then the main character finally confronts him and he goes, "I'm not going to fight with a fucking kid. I'm just going to leave." Like, alright, bye, dude.
Peace.
Nisei is not the movie, right? Or the movie series.
That's Kizo Monogatari. That's the movies.
Oh, God! One day I'll dip my little toenail into the.
Once you're done One Piece or caught up with One Piece.
Yeah. I feel like because I can't speak Japanese or read Japanese, I'll never get the true Monogatari novel experience that everyone always talks about.
And Jim's like, I guess I gotta watch Fate or read all of Fate now.
The Tight Mooniverse. Oh wait, that's different.
We can't go into Fate.
I'm mixing up. All right.
Well, in chapter 132, Protection, she abuses her power, and immediately the SWAT team comes in there to take her down because she stole desserts.
I like the idea of cause and effect. Like it is just her stealing the desserts that caused men with guns. And I think you tweeted, Maddie, about the guns. Like that is kind of crazy. I didn't realize that when I first saw this. But yeah, like these guys just have like fully automatic weapons.
Guns are supposed to be like completely banned because of
The Gun Devil, yeah.
Gun Devil, yeah.
Yeah, I think these guys, but with the Gun Devil's like publicized defeat, maybe the restriction on guns have been lifted. But I'm almost certain these are guys dressed in the same like SWAT uniform as the Anti-Makima squad, which I guess they're still doing their job even post Makima.
They were just off duty for like a few years, and then one guy came and was like, "Dude, she's
You
back."
And she's in elementary school. Like, we can't do it again. She's in elementary school, though. Okay, I got this.
I do think that this is also a great establishment of like the setting as well, because in most other series they couldn't get away with a scene like this because there's no reason why kids wouldn't have cell phones and be recording this. This would be immediate national news. But because this is like 1998, these motherfuckers show up and you get disappeared.
The kids are gonna go home and tell their parents, and they're gonna believe that men with armed men with guns and armor just came into their school. And they're gonna think they're bullshitting.
Yeah, a bunch of armed soldiers came in and took a girl away for stealing my pudding.
And it's funny to think that, like where we are now in the story, she probably is able to go back to school. So, like, imagine just like this happening on like a Thursday afternoon, and Friday morning you come in like, "Hey guys."
But
did I miss anything in history?
She's not gonna care about asking what
hey,
she's
a hardworking student. She absolutely would care.
Yeah, she's very diligent. She wants to get the right answer in class.
She wants the attention.
That's where she's against Denji.
She's gonna be the one that wants to read the book out loud in class. The one person that wants to do that.
I remember when I was in 5th grade, we were doing that where you have to read like a paragraph and go to the next person. And the paragraph that I read, I don't even remember the book, but it had the word bra in it. And oh my god, I was so embarrassed saying the word bra out loud.
Oh my god.
And then everyone laughed. Everyone laughed at me.
Laugh at you.
I said bra and everyone laughed.
That's the reverse of the one that like everyone's like reading and they see the one swear. They're counting up each sentence to know who gets to say the swear word. Who gets to put the real stank on shit.
Or you're reading Huck Finn, and it's just like, all right.
No, never mind.
No.
not that one. Not that one.
It is kind of crazy. I remember reading that in like 10th grade. That's kind of crazy. I mean, when I say reading, we didn't do like live, like out loud readings of that
live gym reaction.
To Huck Finn.
I do remember getting books in high school and then them telling me to read it. I did not read a single fucking page except for one book, and that was Catcher in the Rye. I basically coasted off of not even Spark Notes, just like I would Google like what happened in this book, and that's it. I would coast off of that, and I was somehow able to pass. I had a pretty high English test score.
That's hilarious.
I like did not like that book. I was like I listened to Who Wrote Holden Caulfield, which is like a Green Day song off of Kerplunk. That I like. This is much better than this book.
Dork.
I
like that book. I think it's pretty good.
I like Catcher in the Rye. I do know that oftentimes when I'm like, oh yeah, I really like Catcher in the Rye, and I don't read often. That's some people are like, well, yeah, I could tell because it's your favorite book. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't know good fucking writing.
I bet your favorite movie is American Psycho. God.
I'm like the opposite though. I read like everything in high school. I was a little dork that read every book. Except there was one book I didn't read. I like half read it because I hated it. The Awakening by Kate Chopin. I could not. It's not even a novel. It's a novella, and I fucking hated it so much I couldn't even read. It's about a woman who's so sad that she kills herself. Spoilers.
I mean, it can't be as bad as I had to read Ethan Frome's.
I didn't hate that one. That one's funny.
That book sucks.
I think it was
another book where the ending is about killing yourself.
I think Animal House was the other one that I read, or maybe not Animal House. It's the one that's about the meat processing plant.
I think about like
Animal Farm.
Animal
college
Farm, I think. Yeah,
I was gonna say Animal House is like the John Belushi?
Yeah.
Okay.
College movie. All right. Okay, we need to go. We literally are like 2 pages.
Speaking of dying, I guess. Asa is at a hospital and everything's going as horrible can go for everybody.
My grandkid got crushed by debris.
About your age, like thanks. And then
you hate it when that happens.
And Asa's like, "Oh, Chainsaw Man saved me," and all these people died.
She's having her
apparently the whole
guilt.
Yeah, and the whole world basically got fucked up by. This is like what I love of like the Falling Devil just fucked up the world. This is just like a mutant in like the X-Men world or the Marvel world, are just like, oh yeah, they could just fuck up the pole, the magnetic pole that they wanted to, and fuck the world up.
It is nice to see something show up and do something so like monumentally powerful that it actually has lasting consequences across the world. Like her just picking up and dropping a building is like, oh yeah, nope, Tokyo's getting destroyed again. But it's like, no, this was a global-wide phenomenon that she fucked with gravity.
Yeah, and the worst thing possible is just like it calls the whole world to be afraid of something and towards apocalypse. So you're literally gonna get the apocalypse devil or some shit. It feels like
just like an X-Men.
Yeah, just like apocalypse. He's gonna.
But it's fine. We got the fan pretty boy to the rescue.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that the first time. That's so fucking funny.
They got him on one of the worst things you could possibly be on, which is a Japanese variety show where they have live reaction of people just laughing at you and making fun of you.
And this is so... I love this. This is so cool. Like, they basically... He's so mad. I forget his name. The council president, the Chainsaw Man fan. He's like so mad. He's like, why are we doing these like shitty... Like, he calls them like lowbrow variety shows. And basically, like, the plan is to just get the word out. It's like any press is good press kind of thing.
Also, just like the way he draws people laughing on him, it's like scary.
Yeah, like the way Fujimoto depicts like everyday citizens sometimes is like this kind of
grotesque.
People are weird looking sometimes.
You know how horrified like I would be if like on a show and it had the whole crowd make fun of you like that. Like
I would suck, yeah.
Especially if you went on stage and you told a really bad knock joke, and then you had a handgun, and you shot the host.
or Jim had to do a live reading. He said the word bra, and the crowd just laughs.
The crowd goes wild, and I kill myself in the closet. But we have kind of a crazy reveal here. Who is this mysterious shadow man or woman?
How many times can I teach you this lesson, old man? It's gonna be fucking Justice, probably.
It's Kishibe.
The hands, I don't know. I feel like Kishibe's hands would have more wrinkles on them.
Honestly, the hand does imply to me some sort of age to it. Though, I'm actually curious about one thing when it came to the Justice Devil, because they keep saying Justice was handing out contracts at the school. I don't know if Justice actually is, or if it's Fami pretending to be Justice.
It would make sense. I mean, we see Fami like controlling like primal fears, so I could see her, even if she's like not pretending, if she's like literally controlling, I could see that happening.
Or like every devil she brings, she controls. It's like it's just a starving devil, but they keep saying they're Justice or whatever, so they're not actually. Like,
yeah, it makes sense. Kind of like how Makima could just utilize other people.
Maybe that first one actually was Justice, and everything afterwards wasn't. But it's just like that recurring side boss that like keeps coming after you, and you keep beating it, and it just like won't learn its lesson. Like Kuzi and Yakuza 0, where you like, gotta keep beating the shit out of you, and you keep making.
How many times do we have to keep saying this, old man?
Now you're just making me want Asa to fight the Justice Devil in a fucking like sewer drain
with the theme blasting. Like, oh,
Kuzi is so fucking good, man.
Kuzi's great. He's like the best villain. Oh, I love Kuzi. You should play everybody play Yakuza 0. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see who this person is, because this person seems like they're kind of a mastermind. Like,
I'm gonna tell you, Jim, is Emperor Palpatine. Somehow he has returned and whispering in his ear.
Well, I mean, if you checked Fortnite recently, you would know Palpatine said he was going to be in Chainsaw Man.
I cannot still believe that the Emperor's return was like explained in Fortnite only.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
I love Fortnite. We like Fortnite.
That just makes me think of the one tweet that was like a Star Wars fan account being like, "Did you know that this Death Star scene in this in episode 9 aren't really Death Stars but prototype models or such and such?" And then it's just Elijah Wood going, "No. How would we ever know that?"
I remember that. I love those. Like, it's equivalent of like r/shitty movie details or movie details where they just like tell you very obvious things or like not obvious things that no one would have any way of knowing unless you did novelization. Oh my god. But speaking of shitty situations, Denji's tied up in a underground, I guess.
Denji's tied up in his underwear in some sort of underground warehouse.
Who stripped Denji? Do you think Yoshida stripped him
He probably could have.
with his tentacles? But yeah, Denji's just like, oh yeah, like, Asa is in the hospital. He's like, where's Nayuta? Like, that's all I really care about, Nayuta and the dogs. It's very funny.
It is nice.
It is kind of interesting that they don't seem to care too much about Asa.
Yeah, I mean, she is, or at least the organization doesn't seem to care too much. I don't know how much he knows fully about Asa's situation.
Yeah.
You think
Yoshida
it would draw
knows...
attention that he was, like, with her, like, for most of the fight. If
what
they
he
could
knows
even, like, determine
and
that.
doesn't know is like something because he knows Fami now, and like so we don't really know the extent of his knowledge. Like, I don't know.
He's kind of like the bad guy right now. Like he kind of is like the worst guy right now.
I mean, look at his that panel with like the pathetic thing of Denji on the ground POV. Like he dropped his tray of his burgers and nuggets and everything, and
because like if in my mind, aside from like the ominous Emperor Palpatine character, Fami's kind of like on the side of like humanity and good, whereas Yoshida is definitely like doing like pretty shitty nefarious things, and he's also human. He doesn't have like the I'm a devil excuse.
Also,
unless
Yoshida has
the long-lasting fan theory of Yoshida is the death devil.
Oh god,
insane! That would be insane, but I'm here for it.
It's just also just like Yoshida's hair still is like, this is like my hairstyle, but like I don't. But if I didn't get annoyed by my hair being in my eyes, but I don't know how he does it because it's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah, if you shaved, you could do like a very good Yoshida cosplay.
But I cannot walk around with like hair in my eyes. It just bothers. It's so annoying to have your hair like that. Yeah, but yeah, Denji will lick his butthole for a week to thank him.
He will tongue his butthole.
No tonguing
Insane.
necessary.
Insane. There's always little moments in Chainsaw Man that I'm like, insane. This isn't Shonen Jump, even to this day, and that is one of those like insane that is.
I just
like,
think of Denji saying that, and then I go back to how Shinlin or Shuenlin, the editor for Chainsaw Man, liking various yaoi images of Denji and Yoshida on Twitter.
That's hilarious.
After the zombie orgy, I just like not surprised by anything that could appear in this.
Yeah, that was also pretty crazy.
But I think this chapter is like one of my favorite. I think out of them all, though, because of like the discussion while there's like a protest going on.
Oh, 133, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this
Chainsaw Man protest. It's called Chainsaw Man Pro. I just love the title. I don't pay attention to the titles until I do these, and I get a good chuckle out of like all of them.
Yeah, this is really good. This is just a really, really good one. I love like Denji so much in this. Like Denji's so pathetic, and he's still so stupid.
It's like a child discussion he's talking to, where he's just like, oh, they want to put Chainsaw Man down. Like, but why? I'm a good boy. Like, they don't like you. Oh. It's like the most like blunt conversation. I love it.
But he does have protesters that are counter protesters that are fighting for him.
Yeah,
and he loves it.
It's nice having people fight over him.
It's nice, but it's just funny that like I don't know. He's so detached. He doesn't understand like how awful the situation is.
Yeah,
like
Yoshida explains that like it's so popular. His church is just like that politicians are funding it to get like ahead in elections and everything.
Yeah, they definitely like they see that as like, oh, this is going to be like a powerful like place to get voters from. It's going to be a lot of like young people. I think he makes a comment saying that like it's a lot of like high schoolers that are going to be voting age soon.
Yeah, they call it Chainsaw Mania.
Yeah, the bulk of them are still in school,
awesome.
but they'll be old enough to vote.
That's going to be the final chapter, like the pay-per-view, Chainsaw Mania, where he fights the death or Nostradamus on like the moon or some shit.
Chainsaw Man, Nostradamus in the cell.
Brother, I'm calling you out, Nostradamus,
Sunday.
dude.
World War III.
Let me tell you something, dude.
3 rings, 2 wrestlers.
No, Denji would be the ultimate warrior of just like his brain and mindset. Just running in there, doing like 2 moves and just trying to peace out. Unless you make Chainsaw Denji Macho Man and Asa Miss Elizabeth. Oh, that'd be great. I'm so. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking good.
Something that I find really interesting about these few chapters is this idea of like Denji not really controlling Chainsaw Man anymore, and it's not in like a way. It's not in like a physical way. Like we saw that at the end of like part 1 where he like lost control, but like it's the idea that you can't control anymore.
Yeah, he's
like,
become Spider-Man.
Exactly, yeah, and it's so cool because like I don't know, it's like normally like Peter in Spider-Man, he's like smart enough to realize that he doesn't have like power as like he doesn't have power as Peter Parker. Like
you can eat that hot dog and walk away.
He like Spider-Man is like this like benevolent force, whatever, that's like the only way he can express change in the world. But Denji like doesn't quite get it yet. He still thinks that like the part which is hilarious where he's like really mad.
Jim, are you
beat this guy up?
Jim, are you waiting for his canon event?
Shut up. But when Denji like thinks that he like controls these people in a way, like I don't know, it's really interesting. I really like this character arc for him where he like it's probably gonna come to a head where the church is doing horrible things and Denji's like completely unable to sway them.
God,
this is very like Fire Punch,
yeah, I was
right?
about to say, this is going a lot like Fire Punch. In fact, it goes a lot like how Fujimoto was talking about writing a story about a hero. He talked about how the idea of a person who does good and saves people just immediately creates some sort of separation between the normal person and them to the point that they end up being worshipped like a cult or like a church. And now that there literally is a Chainsaw Man church, like I feel like a lot of his statements about what you need to do to write a hero story will be very applicable this part.
What if them having a church makes a chainsaw angel, and that's what the other Chainsaw Man is because he has a church?
The Chainsaw Angel.
Hey, Makima did say that there are several places that people go when they die, but she made them all forget about most of them.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry
about
it.
the star that made children go insane when they looked at it?
But I think that is like a really good point, though, Medi. Like thinking back to like the very first appearance of Denji in this part, like he's literally going around like trying to get girls' numbers because he's Chainsaw Man. Like it shows this like massive disconnect that he doesn't like. He basically wasn't a person for so long that he doesn't have like a conception of himself as like a different entity than Chainsaw Man. And it's just really, I feel like that is going to be like his pivotal character arc throughout this.
I mean, it was his backpedal too when he was trying to hook up with Asa. The like, I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan. You like Chainsaw Man? And then he got so offended she called him a loser, and he was like, "I am Chainsaw Man. Why does anyone believe me?"
That's the worst thing. The worst pickup line you could have picked. Oh my god! Why is Yoshida so wide in this one panel? But yeah, he literally goes to Plan B, which is I'm going to show you her Nayuta's corpse if you don't listen to me.
So what he has to do, basically, the ultimatum is that he needs to stop being Chainsaw Man. That is like the big conflict right now. It's like Spider-Man 2. It's like you can't be Spider-Man if you want to have a normal life. You got to stop. You got to do it, Peter. You got to stop being Spider-Man.
Yeah, throw that suit in the trash.
Yeah, put away the mask, which is, again, tying back to Fujimoto's discussion on writing superhero stories. The only way he believes a superhero story can end, realistically, is the hero stops being a hero. How that stops is dependent on the story. Either giving up the thing or dying.
Seal up hell, essentially, as well. But yeah, Denji does not want to do it. I my favorite thing is just like yelling at the protesters to fight for him, to fight him. So funny.
Yeah, protesters assemble, kill this guy. and then his reaction is he's even dumber than I thought.
Mr. Electric, kill him.
But I did like
literally,
that
it's literally that.
Denji is given that ultimatum and he chooses both options.
It's so perfect. That is like
He He literally
exactly
hit him with.
why I love Denji.
He lit him with like the Phoenix Wright or Danganronpa bullet, where they just start breaking. Like you cannot possibly like.
It's good to see him want, and like even though it's like a silly want, like him desiring both options means that he now has a desire, something that he didn't have before.
But don't worry, Nayuta's back, and she just comes out of the crowd. And you can see like him crawling out to her, the dude getting punched in the face.
It's so fucking funny.
He's
I love the juxtaposition of like just this hyper violence, and it just Denji does not care at all. Like it's just he's so normalized to it.
He hugs her. They have all the dogs and Meowies there, and there's a guy just knocked out on the ground behind them.
It's so cute. I love this moment. It just shows like how much Denji's grown. Like not only does he desire things, but he also has like people to protect. Like he's lost so much in his life. He's lost all of his friends, so he's willing to like do whatever it takes to protect Nayuta.
I fucking love he's like the guy Yoshida talks is like, you let them meet too soon. It's like, huh? You weren't done yet?
I also could just believe that like she just kind of made him do it a little bit, or maybe kind of influenced
That's
him.
what I was thinking.
I was thinking that this dude was like, yeah, we have shit to do, guy. We move at our own time frame. You're not in control here.
I thought you would have been done by now. But, like he didn't expect stupidity. I mean, like, it's literally the crying guy, like meme. It's like, no, you were about to throw your life away and choose Nayuta. No.
Yeah, it is cool to see Yoshida like so shaken up too.
He's got
normally
that
he's so
sweat.
cool and collected.
And then she does the low tier god of like, Denji, tell this guy to fuck off now.
Denji, tell this guy to go fall off his horse.
So good. And then he just like did he not understand me? Like the funniest. Like, also, Yoshida drawn very wide in this as well.
I want the. I don't know if you guys know about the Kira's work. What's it called? What's a workplace?
Oh, his coworker. Kira's coworker.
Kira's coworker.
Yes,
I want Yoshida's fucking coworker here to become as popular. I love this guy. His reactions are fucking peak.
The new Kabeni, the new fan favorite coming in there. The new Kobeni's car is Yoshida's coworker.
Yeah, the word coworker was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't fucking think of it.
That is so funny. I just heard about that. The Japanese meme where everyone's like obsessed with Kira Yoshikage's fucking coworker.
Yeah, because he walks up and then just lists off Kira's fucking bio.
The exposition dump character. I that's my favorite part of anything. It's like when like a nothing character just become like when Mass Effect 3 came out and Marauder Shields was like the fan favorite character. Which is just like the last enemy you see in the game is just a Marauder with a little bit of shields, and everybody just clubbed them.
I know, I fucking love that. But yeah, I just love this like focus we have in the next chapter, 134. We have this real focus on Denji.
Ordinary
really,
happiness.
He's like really finally like it's kind of hit him like the reality of the situation, and it's funny just because like he doesn't even care. Like he's overhearing people talking about like how great Chainsaw Man is and like all the stuff about Nostradamus, and he just he's just so in his own world.
I love them going, he's gonna beat Nostradamus, and it's like, no,
Nostradamus is coming for us.
Like they keep talking about Nostradamus like he is going to arrive, like this fucking pencily nerd is gonna show up and be like, yes, you see, I predicted everything. Flaming tower in distance, collapse society.
He just like broke it. It just like I love like the montage of him just having like the defeated expression on his face while he's doing like various things like blow drying her hair and like.
I love that he blow dries her hair. This is so fucking cute, and it's so perfect because it's like an extension of his time with Power, where he basically just like had to fully care for Power. I just love it. It just shows like Denji is such a nice guy. He's good.
I think that leads to like the bathroom moment I love. Is like, you know, him talking to Puchita and like Meowie comes into. I think, oh
yeah,
Meowie with like the biggest smile on his face.
This whole chapter is great. I love Nayuta and Denji's relationship, and Denji trying to figure out just like, is normal life fine? I like how like Yoshida's like, did he even understand me? And like Denji did seem to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nayuta is like, yeah, he wants to defend her, but he didn't give Yoshida an answer, so he doesn't know what that means. You can't get a like 100% answer out of him. But Meowie and Denji just watch like shitty, like 1 a.m. TV.
See, in a house full of all these dogs, your true ally is the cat.
I mean, yeah, like, I feel like the cat's probably way more attached to Denji. But yeah, let me get another. God, what is his name? Like the class.
Pretty boy.
Yeah,
Pretty
boy.
Yeah, so we basically get another like TV interview, and they say they have Chainsaw Man there, and it's like Denji like looks at the phone to see if they're calling him, which is very funny.
It just shows that he's still so connected with it. It's like he needs the validation. Like in his mind, no one else could be Chainsaw Man, so that's why he's like expecting the call.
The way Meowie's drawn though of him going over to the phone is very funny. If you've never seen the JPEG dog in the Ace Combat game, most recent one, it just looked like it's just there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It's just there.
He just got dropped on. He just got dropped in the panel.
They placed the cardboard cutout like right there. But yeah.
But so yeah, we have a new mysterious figure.
Man, I can't believe he didn't
saying he's Chainsaw Man.
He didn't tilt his hat the entire time he was there. His head was tilted down.
You see, they just have those brims from Shimonetta, which just actually cover the eyes. It isn't just a perspective thing.
Oh, the funniest thing is like he gives the most like shonen protagonist reasoning to be Chainsaw Man. Like, I want to fight to create a world without devil, then a devil's world, Adam and Eve.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that like this is like just a lie that Fami and the secret organization are using, but I wonder where he's going with the Adam and Eve thing.
Oh my god!
Because that really feels like I'm gonna rebuild the world, like I'm gonna destroy and recreate the world kind of thing.
Well, he cut it off there before he went on his tirade about Adam and Steve. So
also,
he cut him out
important
there.
Detail. He says he got his powers. He gained the power from the Justice Devil. That's how he's claiming he has Chainsaw Man
Which
power.
means
So
that
just another
I think this
thing.
guy is probably Fosaw Man.
I'm inclined to believe that too.
Because
I can definitely see the Justice Devil handing out powers like that, but
weren't like when you guys theorized like the imposter devil or something like that was like could also be a thing of like this is like the real devil is just like.
Well, I think we kind of had a similar idea of like it is the conception, like a new devil that is like the Chainsaw Man devil.
Yeah.
That has been like based on public fear of Chainsaw Man. Which I think that's interesting in its own way, but yeah, if it's just this guy and it is just like the Justice Devil just was able to hand him like a sort of like let's say that he's not operating at like 100% peak performance, but
But we get back to next chapter. We have back to Asa.
Wait, before this, like I just love the way it ends. Like this chapter, it's just Denji in like a really vulnerable moment where he's just so angry. He's like screaming at like 3 a.m. at the TV because he's so torn at this like identity crisis he's having.
And him and Nayuta have a nice moment where I like that he was being quiet about this, like. He was like stressed out, but he was keeping it to himself, and then, like finally something actually really gets to him, and he ends up accidentally waking up Nayuta, and she just coddles him because they're a fucking loving family. They're so good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's just like it's so crazy that like see we didn't even see Nayuta for so many chapters in the beginning of part 2, and like I think we were all excited. There's like one hand in like one panel that we saw. I don't know. It's so crazy to me how like Fujimoto really is taking his time with this, and having a moment like this after all that time is just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that whole chapter was just a nice, like, finally some Denji Nayuta moments.
Family bonding, like family.
And talking about family bonding, Yoru eating the bread.
So
this is awesome. I think that like oftentimes I forget that it's Chainsaw Man Day, and then I go on Twitter and I see a screenshot from the new chapter, and the screenshot I saw was the zoom in of Yoru eating the big piece of bread. Like, and I was like, oh, this looks really good.
I just also just like Asa's like, there's no way that's Chainsaw Man. These two stand up. Like Chainsaw Man's like a crude, stupid idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really
she
good.
sees right through the disguise, and I like that.
Also, just eating bread, just straight up bread.
It's just plain old white bread. God, Asa in this chapter was so fucking great, especially when you look back at her other like stuff, where this is just the perfect payoff, the exact thing. You know, it's just like the Asa was like, I used to say I had a chainsaw head fetish as a joke, but I don't know if I'm sure about that anymore.
I get called out. She's like, I can't believe you fell. Like look, the girl's fallen in love with Chainsaw Man.
The fail
Yeah, like,
girl
literally.
has fallen in love with the fail boy.
She's called out like for falling in love so easily.
Can you imagine like the torment of like your imaginary friend is like making fun of your crush? Like that is like the worst. You can't even get away from that shit.
The worst part is like Asa at this point is the imaginary friend because Yoru is controlling the body.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
She's
eating. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But she's like, wait a minute, you're in a good mood because you're not like shutting down any conversation about Chainsaw Man.
And I love her response, war draws nigh. And I just have to reiterate, like, every time I read a chapter and it's a Yoru and Asa, I always read Yoru's voice as, like, a deep masculine, like a booming kind of devil voice, like, war draws nigh.
He's
So
like,
I love that line.
Like, oh, destruction gonna cause war, and, like, you know, people need money, they go to war.
Now I can only imagine
Specifically,
all of Yoru's lines read in Mandalore's Aslan voice.
Right.
And specifically, her line of logic is like, because the gravity devil, or sorry, the falling devil like destroyed so many places on Earth, like they're all poor now, and when humans want money, they go to war, and it's like, damn.
I do like
Spitting facts, Yoru.
with this you get your strength back, and we don't need to kill strength man. Like, oh no, of course we will. It's like the fuck. It's like, oh, he's gonna die regardless. Like, if I get my strength back from this war in general, but.
And there's also this really funny moment too, where it's
No
almost
flashbacks.
like, yeah, it's almost like since the falling devil, like she has these like real like moment flashbacks.
Are you saying that she's fallen in love with Denji?
Oh, that's a good
but
one.
it's just like a moment, and like someone like a mind reader, like just don't think of me naked. And then when they said that, they like think of like them naked. Like,
Yeah,
why did you say that?
I also want to say that this chapter leaked. Didn't actually leak, but it leaked 12 hours early from the Shonen Jump app, tweeting out that panel of Asa thinking of Denji. Or thinking of Chainsaw Man, and oh my god, was as someone who habitually, is that the word? Habitually stays up all night to be there at release. So much so that like on Chainsaw Man Day, I will just type out Chainsaw Man. That's my. If those are wondering, if you see that me tweet that, that's your warning to. As soon as the chapter drops, I'm tweeting about it. That's the fucking smoke signal in the air. But as someone who tends to wait for the chapter to come out, this fucking was so like I was both excited but a little miffed that like I try to avoid spoilers for the most part. The official fucking source for this stuff spoiled it 12 hours in advance.
That's hilarious. I had no idea.
And I feel like that happened before too, so honestly I'm not surprised.
Yeah, they did it with Dan to Dan once as well. But that was like a week early. That was weird. Also,
did he forget to draw Yoru's scars on the don't recite embarrassing poems?
Yes, he did. That happens a lot. Fujimoto tends to forget her scars, but he does. Or just remember blushing. Her eyes.
Or just blushing. Like,
true, yeah.
Blushing fades out the scars and puts in like the blush.
I didn't even notice that. That's so funny.
And then, cause she joined your Halo Forge lobby, she Fami just spawns in and takes the bread.
Are we not going to talk about the sentimental drive?
We have to.
Written by Asa Mitaka?
I'm not a poetry person, so if you guys could review poetry, go
it's
ahead.
It's a poetry thing.
It's so funny.
It is poetry in this in the English version. In the Japanese version, it's a song. And it was directly sang by her name escapes me. But Fujimoto has said in the past that Asa as a character was inspired by a specific songwriter's or a specific female musician's song. And that musician performed Sentimental Drive the day of
I saw that
release, and that was so cool.
It was really like an embarrassing moment to listen to it, because like in my head I just was thinking about it and I was like, oh my god, she's literally just like sitting alone like singing the song. It was so like raw. I love that shit. There's something like really I don't know the word, like magical. There's some like really like powerful about Chainsaw Man, where that seems like it's really captured the zeitgeist and like everyone is focused on it. I love seeing shit like that.
Yeah, if you want to link it at all, it's really good.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'll link this.
But yeah, it's great to honestly, if anything, grab her for fucking whenever we get part 2 animated in 2035.
I can't wait. Whenever that happens. But yeah, Fami spawns in.
Yes.
With cradling the bread. She's literally like just holding it like she's like holding her books going to her next class.
Can I eat this?
It's like, are you eating that plate?
I love that Asa and Yoru
really
square up like Ultramen.
I kind of want Fami to go off on like a Bubba Gump like just reading off different kinds of toppings to put on the bread instead of like you could put jelly, you could put peanut butter, you could put apple butter, you could put just like a list, you could toast it. I would have loved that.
That'd be a Chainsaw Man reference.
But instead, she just wants to ask if she can eat this.
Can I eat this?
Very funny. I fucking love this. Like, it just Fujimoto, master of paneling. Like, I love the "can I eat this" is small, then it's bigger, then it's like dominating like the bottom third of the page. So
yeah,
funny.
it's a great way to show not only Asa and Yoru lowering their guard, because obviously their guard is bigger than her question, and that they're about equal, except for like they're still a little on guard, and then like their guard is basically lowered. The question finally gets through. Then you turn the page, and she has eaten all the bread. We are being denied a Fami actually ever eating in this fucking manga.
I didn't even notice that.
Wait, no.
And
also,
the jam is all gone.
But no, wait, hold on.
She devoured the whole thing of jam.
There's no spoon or knife. She either dumped it all or used her finger. To, like...
She fingered the jam.
There is. For a character who is all about eating, we've seen her order an absurd amount of food. We have seen her eat an absurd amount of food. We have not actually observed her eating anything.
I also just love, like, can I just look at your fridge? I forget who said it, but I remember on Twitter someone said, like, I do not believe Asa has a full fridge.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fully stocked
Yeah, I was
fridge.
thinking about that too. It is kind of funny because like the scene when she is with Yoshida and she's ordering all the food. At first, I thought that was like a reference to like when Denji just ordered all the shit and like didn't eat all of it. But like she definitely ate every single bite of that. Like in hindsight, yeah, that's really fucking funny.
The way that Fami
love a
talks,
hungry bitch.
I can only imagine she sounds like Yuki Nagato from Haruhi. She has.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I can
see
see her having sort of the robotic drawl to her. I don't think she speaks with much emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that's for
great.
that tired character, like that bored kind of talk is like I would think of. But where Denji had to choose one option, but chose both, Asa gets the option to choose both right away.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
true.
man, I love this section. Not only is one of my favorite things is like the Asa calls out the Chainsaw Man on TV, like that's a fake, and then Fami's like, yeah, it's a fake.
Obviously. Also, I'm just looking at the fridge. She has coffee milk.
Huh.
Instead of cream, it's just coffee milk.
It's probably like a coffee creamer.
I knew that, but
You know, she
but
also
it's
got
called coffee milk.
fucking mustard, water, yogurt.
One apple.
A single
Bleach.
apple next to the yogurt.
Regular.
It looks like books. She has books in there as well next to the milk.
Probably like baking soda. But yeah, so basically, so they give the situation of like there are like two chainsaw men. They want Asa to join the church first of all.
There's Red Chainsaw Man and Black Chainsaw Man.
Which, if you've read Abara, is almost a direct reference to Abara, because what she refers to as the Black Chainsaw Man is the pure Chainsaw Man form that we saw at the end of Part 1, and if you didn't know, there are things called guanas in Abara, which are, like, basically alien symbiotes that come in two different colors, white and black, and the main character...
Oh, Anti-Venom.
Also another direct reference. The main character of Abara's name is Denji, and he has a sister named Nayuta. And the
Really?
black guana is Denji's transformation. Like, that's what he becomes, and that was used as direct inspiration for Chainsaw Man's pure devil form. So it being called the Black Chainsaw Man is a direct reference to Abara again.
I need to fucking read this. It's only 2 volumes. I didn't know it was
it's
that
super
fucking
short.
I'm gonna read this by the next time we do an episode.
Yeah, so I guess they want to take out the pure Chainsaw Man and get out of Denji and like separate them. It seems to be the plan.
Yeah, it seems like they want to remove Puchita from Denji.
Which, I mean, that's gonna kill
That's
Denji.
gonna kill Denji almost
like Chainsaw
immediately, because one person brought this up, and I didn't even, like, think about it until recently. When Denji does his big gambit at the end when he goes against Makima, and he removes his heart, and he does, like, the Puchita removal, like, his face is, like, stained in blood, because he immediately started dying of the heart disease again.
Huh.
So, Denji kinda needs Puchita to stay alive.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, I really wonder if Fami does have, like, a way of keeping him alive, or if this is just a ploy to
I just feel like
get her plan through.
If he got removed, he'd just fall apart into the pieces that he was sliced up into in like chapter 1.
Oh no!
Like he just it's like a samurai or guy with a swordsman just sheath their swords and they just fall apart. But also just yells at Fami just for leaving her fridge open.
Oh, I also do really love the Yoru line of "Save Chainsaw Man." Even if Asa agrees, I refuse.
I love it. And then we get Asa basically becoming the new hero.
Yes.
And yeah.
Seems it skips ahead like a month or so.
Her up there with her fucking
what was it, devil?
This thing is so cool.
It's called
this fucking
Carpenter
sword.
Bee Devil that she killed.
Yeah. She has like it's like a laser sword.
People said a
right?
lighter. It's Travis Touchdown's katana.
I mean, yeah, it looks like what's it called? Rose Nasty from No More Heroes 2. But I'm almost certain it's probably a lighter. It kind of looks like Pulpo's lighter was turned into a sword from Part 5.
Yeah, I was
it's
thinking
so
like,
fucking cool looking.
from the No More Heroes, the dual, like one of the dual blades.
Yeah, that's
the one
Rose Nasty.
Okay, I want to make. I didn't remember the name. I remember what it was because that's the weapon I used in that game. And then Denji being mad in his Chainsaw Man shirt.
Asa's taking all my kills.
He literally does the fucking Arthur fist clench meme.
But I can't wait to now like Denji's like hates her. I can't wait to like him encountering her. Oh,
this is a good kind of like little twist on their relationship, giving him like jealousy.
I also love
essentially
Nayuta looking up at it. I don't know what it is about that panel of her. She looks so fucking adorable there.
Her eyes are like kind of pointing in different directions. It's very cute.
We just entered Asa's popular phase.
Oh no.
As she
so
smiles
cool. I
at the
fucking
camera.
love Asa. Asa is so fucking awesome.
The
The pose she strikes when she kills the Carpenter Bee is just like, I fucking love this.
Maybe it's because I watched we talked about like Fujimoto loving like in Kamen Rider and like I'm watching Double. I just finished watching Double. I'm just thinking like, man, he really wanted the two become one kind of.
Also,
like, the dope.
I want to say Shout out to best side character in the series to reporting on Asa's defeat of the Bean Devil. We got the tired news broadcaster back at it again. She's still here.
Oh my god.
It's admirable. God. I'm just excited to see the Denji mad arc. Denji's gonna push DW fist clench like ready.
They're gonna have awesome.
I can't wait for them to be on the rooftop and yelling at each other, and then them both realize what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
This is such a good stopping off point. I'm so excited for more, and we have a chapter dropping really soon. So.
Especially if she's part of the Chainsaw Man Church. Because she turned Denji down because she didn't care about Chainsaw Man. So he's like, why are you joining the church if you're going to take all my kills?
It was me. I killed... I didn't kill Attorney Devil. I wouldn't even know. I was too busy admiring a penguin to acknowledge anything that was going on.
You know, Attorney just kind of ran away, I guess.
No, I killed the cockroach. I killed the guy that did school. But I'm just super excited to see like the more about the church and like eventually she finds out about what happened to what's it called?
Yoko?
To her, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens when she finds out who the fuck killed Yoko because
if that other Chainsaw Man, do we think that other Chainsaw Man that helped them is Chainsaw Man Black?
No, Chainsaw Man Black is definitely the Puchito form.
The forearm.
Because technically Fami isn't lying when she's saying that they are two people. Because
God,
Red Chainsaw Man is just Denji's hybrid state, and then Black Chainsaw Man...
It's literally like different Kamen Rider seasons where you have Black and Black RX, and you have Kamen Rider 1 and 2, and then X3.
I was taken aback by like the naming convention. I think it's funny that they call him Chainsaw Man Red or Red Chainsaw Man.
We're gonna have Chainsaw Man Stronger, and we're just gonna have he's gonna have the naming convention. Chainsaw Man can just keep going on forever for how many Chainsaw Mans there's gonna be. But yeah, I also just like I guess someone gave her the lighter, or she bought the lighter and she owned it, or someone gave her money to buy the lighter.
Yeah, like I can't
Seems like a pretty
think
powerful
of anything
weapon.
else it could be. Mainly just because of how the blade is coming out of it. Maybe it's a flashlight.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I think a lighter makes the most sense.
Yeah, because it's like a flame sword is what I imagine that is.
Lightsabers are cool, and we know that Fujimoto likes Star Wars a lot.
And we know that if you combine together some gems and a flashlight, you can create a lightsaber. Like, everyone knows that, as long as you have duct tape.
Well, if you watch Dr. Stone, you can make many things out of just natural resources. How easy it is to make, like... make a bomb. Dr. Stone warned you, just don't do this. But, anything else we want to say or predict, or should we try to wrap it up until...
I think I kind of got all my thoughts out. I just really love the direction they're taking Denji's character. It feels like he's really like growing up and like growing through all of this like confusion. Like it's not, even though like we already had a lot of like personal Denji growth, there's still so much more along the way. And like while catastrophe and apocalypse is happening, Denji's gonna have like this identity crisis, and I just love that.
The funniest thing is that this apocalypse is something that like neither one of our main characters like is aware of, really. Like they're like they just tell you like, oh, stop being Chainsaw Man.
Denji knows, he's heard about Nostradamus.
But he didn't care.
They just both don't seem to care too
yeah,
much
like
about
he
it.
wouldn't care.
Yeah.
He probably think, oh, I can just chainsaw Nostradamus to death, whoever that asshole is.
I do want to know how common it is in this world to have like end of the world prophecies, because like I remember when I was growing up, it was like every few years you'd hear like, oh my god, the Mayan calendar. Dude, and like there's always shit like that happening.
We had a freaking apocalypse van that would always drive around our South Jersey.
It's storylines like this that remind me that Fujimoto isn't too much older than most of the people reading his manga. And so that he knows how to write stories that are kind of relatable. Because, like, yeah, Doomsday stuff, at least for a good chunk of people, was very relevant in our childhoods of the 2012, hell, fuck it, if you're a little bit older, Y2K. which is around the time that
yeah.
Nostradamus' prophecy is supposed to happen. That's like the most famous one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Y2K, coming in there, you could have like the computer devils. The fear of the internet can grow more and more.
I remember on June 6, 2006.
Oh my god! When The Omen released in theaters.
Oh, is that true? That's really
yeah. The
funny.
Omen.
I remember
remake
there
released.
being. I was like, it was Jim at school, well, not my name, but like GYM. And we were outside, and there were these girls. I remember they were talking like, "Oh my god, do you think the world is gonna end?"
The Antichrist is gonna be born. It's fine. Just don't know who he is, and then you won't have a Final Destination death happen to you.
Just look for like the palest white child with like pitch black hair that looks the creepiest, and just kill him.
There was like several Omen movies for some reason. The first one being the only good one.
Is the Omen? That's old, right? That's old.
There's an old one and there's a remake they made, but yeah, it's like Damien.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a really good one.
All for you, really Damien. Yeah, the original one's fucking great.
I really like that one. I think it's a classic.
Good movie. But anything else then? Any other? Or
Nope.
are we gonna get into the I guess what we've been doing? I guess like a one thing we've been doing kind of.
Root beer talk.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's enter root beer talk. Sam, talk about Kamen Rider.
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, I've if you haven't noticed, I finished watching Kamen Rider Double, which is like probably one of the most recognizable series.
I would consider it the perfect Kamen Rider series.
It's definitely in my top 3. It was really really good. It's just it probably has my favorite main character like in it. Like Shotaro is like great. Someone actually like there's this one random isekai manga that someone posted, and it's like generic isekai, but there's just cuts and pieces of just the main character like thinking about what to do and what a Kamen Rider character would do. Like they have like, oh, Shotaro told me to count up their sins. Like it's just like random like one shot moments of her talking about it, and I'm just like, this is random. But no, Kamen Rider Double is very good. Like the finale is very good. There's one thing that kind of bothered me, but it's definitely in my top 3. It's a good series to watch starting out with without like kind of going. It's a shame you'll never see these actors because they all are super popular in.
Shotaro will return in multiple things, but
I saw him in he's in a Guy movie, which is like probably one of my favorite seasons, where he teams up with like one of my favorite characters from it, so I might rewatch it just to see the interaction.
The funny part about Kamen Rider Double is that if I remember correctly, the actor who plays Shotaro once signed on. I think he wanted to be, I think he originally signed on to be Decade, but then he got turned down. And
I cannot imagine him as Decade.
And so he later got brought on to work as Double, and he was a little disappointed when he found out Double would be a dual protagonist role because he really wanted his own solo thing, which is really funny given the end of Double.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Shotaro is one of the only ever returning cast members from Double, besides Ryu at times.
Yeah, Ryu shows up. I watched their solo movie, and I was just like, okay. It's good seeing. He should pop up in like Revice.
That Ryu solo. He also pops up in Drive. But that Ryu solo movie is so funny because it has the worst looking power up with.
It's not bad.
Okay, no, it's
worse.
Really bad. Go back and watch as they drag and drop the flames coming out that allow him to fly. It looks terrible.
I can't blame them because that movie has so much fucking camera shake that it just turned my brain off in action scenes. I didn't watch Double for the action. I watched like fucking Geats if I want to watch like action, like peak action. But I rewatched like Gaim has like the best like final fight, like probably the best final fight in like that I've seen so far. But no, Double really good. Shotaro is like the best. He's great. I love him. The movies have done nothing for me, honestly. But
they're better than most Rider movies, I think.
The Guy movies are perfect because they're just like they are not like. I have a couple of them, but like most of them are just like these are side stories with mostly side characters getting their own movie, and like you don't need to watch them to get like any like useful stuff other than like one or two after the show.
I just think of like the O's movie I watched, which was basically
I've heard about
O's
it.
and Deados get crucified in an alternate timeline, and it's fucking weird.
I've seen that picture. But there's like one guy movie where I told about this to Jim like on another podcast, but like it was like the World Cup was happening in Japan, and the worst part about game is just like the crossovers like for other shit gets in the way of like the story sometimes for an episode. But they have a movie just about like the world like soccer, like everybody just camaraderie just plays soccer, and it's like the most bizarre shit ever.
That's awesome.
Because they were just really into the World Cup. But I recommend watching Gaim, because Gaim is also done by the Madoka Magica guy. So after a double,
Generabuchi.
yeah, I think after double I'm gonna watch Oge probably. Then after that, I don't know. It might be Force Drive or Deno. I don't know.
You gotta watch Forze because that's the trilogy.
I mean,
double O's Forze, because then you get the super movie Max, and that's all three of them come together.
Ooh, maybe then. I may go in that order then, but we'll see. I'm not gonna watch Wizard or Ghost. I know for sure. But no, I recommend Double. Very good series. Feel good. But all right, Jim or Medi? You want to go next?
Medi, you can go.
All right, so this is gonna sound really funny, but I also watched Kamen Rider Double. This is the third time in a row I watched it within a year. It is by far my favorite Kamen Rider series, and and this wasn't like I was rewatching it just casually because I was introducing it to a friend, and it was just a nice way to rewatch it again. And that's kind of how I've justified rewatching Double, as I'll go to a friend and I'll be like, hey, you want to see Peak? And then I just show them Peak, because there isn't a single filler episode in all of Double. Every episode matters in some way. It's fucking perfection.
Yeah, the episode structure, Jim, is like every episode's like 2-part episodes, and they all kind of like have a good like mixture of like a mystery and like the main plot overarch or character
and
growth.
It'll be weird because you'll be watching an episode and then they'll do something. It's like, oh, this is clearly a filler episode, and then like a fucking major event will happen while the filler story is going on. It'll impact the filler story. There's not a wasted second in Double, and I love it.
Yeah, and here's an episode about like one of the cop side characters, and it's like, okay, and like, oh my god, I love this episode.
Oh man, that episode's so good.
One good thing about the XL movie though, the magicians came back, and I fucking love the magicians.
Oh yeah, the magicians are great. I like when she distracts them.
I like when she makes a divorce papers magically appear.
Also, just like I'll pop off. I'm the biggest mark for Shotaro and Philip appearing in other things. If they, because in that Deno's O's movie,
the crucifixion movie,
the crucifixion movie, where it's just a bunch of Kamen Riders shows up. Like they do a big scene where they're naming off all the Kamen Riders, and it's just like Fies, blah blah blah, and then it. The only one to get a transformation sequence is Shotaro and Philip, who walk on screen, do their like big phrase, and then they transform. And then it's like
Minnesota.
It's so fucking good. It just like, I love Shotaro and Philip so much. I like that whole cast.
Yeah. That's why I say the next series you should watch Gaim, so you have a reason to watch the one movie that has Shotaro in it.
I mean, I'm slowly going through every season now at this point, but like,
watch Gaim. I want you to watch that. It's so good. Because I'm pretty sure Shotaro like makes a side like he's interacting with one of my favorite side characters. It's so fun. I need to rewatch it just for that part. Which is funny. That's the only like showing of like the. Remember how they have the Joker suit?
Oh yeah, because
he couldn't get Philip because he's like super mega popular.
Oh yeah, no, Philip blew up big time.
There's a handful of them like that. It's kind of crazy, like who they just don't get back ever. That's good though. I'm glad you rewatched it about the same time I finished watching.
Yeah,
it.
no, I was
That's so funny.
I would see your tweets every now and then. I'd be like, I wonder if anyone wants to watch Double. And then like the last day we sat down and we watched, because this watch session was an experiment to see if watching the movies alongside the show in the correct order. So like by episode 14 you watch the Begins Night movie, and by such and such you watch this movie. We did it in order, and it did actually like make the experience a little bit better. I didn't but they weren't necessary.
Yeah, I did that during Double, where I watched them in like the movies in order. Like the A to Z one made everything else make more sense.
Yeah, A to Z made a lot of things make a lot more sense, and
Also, there's a lot like teasing series in its teasing O's
okay, there
inside
is,
Double.
but there isn't. That the O's thing is at the end of the A through Z movie doesn't actually matter because that's barely what that character is about, and that comes from a different concept.
I was talking about the they tease the medals at the end as
which
well.
Again, makes no fucking sense given the origin of the medals.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a perfect okay. These guys are gonna be the bad guys and like leading it perfectly.
It feels like that, and like that's how I thought it was gonna go. And then I watched O's, and I was like, "What the fuck is this scene even talking about? How do they have the pictures? Where did they get any of these?"
Jim, imagine like an early like Devil Fruit in One Piece, and then just like completely changed it like the rules of it. Like,
I mean, that's there's an early bird appearances just become common in Kamen Rider after a while.
Oh yeah,
and so Forze makes an appearance in an O's movie, and when he makes an appearance, that is a Forze from because each Kamen Rider series is planned 2 years in advance. So like. While we're watching Geats, the new season is already being recorded, planned, and everything's being figured out concept-wise. And so Forze, when he originally debuted, when he was like supposed to be a funny like guy who goes around, he was supposed to join the Kamen Rider Club and interact with different Kamen Riders because it was supposed to be an anniversary season. But then they just decided to cut all of that, but they still left the element where he was a student and in space.
It was fun. It was the weirdest one because I watched XA was like the second series I watched, and the teasing for Build, they had like Build appears a couple times in it. So when you watch Build, it makes no sense from when you learn the mysteries and like in Build, like about what's it called? Because Build appears and the timeline makes it. Oh wait, this is not. This doesn't make sense.
Oh, and the other weird.
And why is he going through a portal? He cannot make portals.
The other really weird thing is the early bird special from Wizard to Gaim, because it just makes Wizard look pathetic from what I'm told, because Gaim just shows up and saves the day and then moves on to his own series.
I gotta go dance, I'll see you later. I gotta like make everybody sad in my season.
But yeah, no, Kamen Rider is fucking great.
Like I said, I rewatched that. And so good. Gaim is so fucking good. He's like, I think actually gonna be at like a convention, I think, in like North America, the guy who plays Gaim.
That'll be rad.
Because like Marvelous comes over here a lot too, from Gokaiger. I think Decade might be coming too. They're like the most like popular ones, but yeah. Okay, Jim, what Kamen Rider series have you been watching?
I watched the Double Dragon one.
You could have just said Double and you would have been fine.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything funnier. I mean I've been doing a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of like repeat stuff. So I'll say two things. I've been very into like evolutionary biology recently.
Okay.
And like there's so many like wonderfully informative videos on YouTube of like how did this animal like evolve into this, or how like why are manatees like this? Like, I don't know. I'm so fascinated, especially manatees and dugongs, which are different. I didn't realize they're actually two different things. The old Weebles animation lied and said that the dugongs are known as manatees. It's not true.
Dugong. You saying that song lied?
The song lied, yeah. No, but I just think it's so weird when you think about like, because like manatees are mammals and like they were once land creatures that like, for some reason, like, became aquatic, and now they're totally, like, sea creatures, but they still need to breathe air, and they're the only, like, aquatic mammals that are herbivores. Like, all they eat is plants. And it's just so weird. I don't know. I just thinking about this stuff, like, blows my mind. Like, I think about whales a lot, and, like, it's just, why whales?
Why whales?
Why would you want, if you're a creature that, like, breathes air, like on land, why would you go into an environment where you cannot breathe? It's just insane to me. I find it fascinating.
I think the one clip I think I saw you talking about is the whale transformation or like evolution is very funny.
That did go viral on Twitter. Yeah, it was like a sped up, like it's like a weird rigged animation of like the creature that started like the it's actually a really small like land mammal. It's like the size of a cat that ended up evolving into like what the cetacean, like
Imagine.
whatever, the like whales. But it's really funny because like people in that, they watch that video and they're like, this is fucking stupid, not realizing that it's like a weird abstraction, like whatever. But so yeah, there's that. And then also I beat the new Zelda game. I beat Tears of the Kingdom. Really cool ending. I started to have like very similar like problems that I had with Breath of the Wild, where just like the game design feels like I don't know, like there's kind of like a shallowness to like the game design where there's so much to it at first, but then when you really try and like look at a lot of it, like after like 100 hours in, you just kind of get this feeling of like, I don't know, like the magic kind of goes away. But the ending of that game, I don't want to spoil it, was like so fucking cool. It's probably one of the coolest endings sequences I've seen in a game. And it was thrilling. It was legitimately thrilling. And yeah, good job those Nintendo guys.
They know how to make a video game.
They did a good one. They certainly do.
Nice.
And that's really all I've got to say about that.
Okay. I guess we should end it by plugging up the hole inside that worm double.
The massive gaping cavity.
The hole left inside the jar of jelly that Fami ate. Medi, go ahead and plug first.
You can buy Shimonetta at shimonetta.com/buy Shimonetta.
And watch Kamen Rider Double.
Watch Kamen Rider Double. That absolutely.
Thank you all for listening to this. If you like everything, leave a comment. You can like the video, subscribe if you haven't, or leave a review wherever you listen to this. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter, which has me and Jim's Twitter handles on there as well. You can join our Discord, and you can, if you want our name right off on our actual like JoJo episode, you can tip a little bit on the Patreon. And with that, I think that's everything.
All right, great. Thank you so much again for joining us, Medi. These are always so fun to do. And looking forward to that next chapter dropping in a few days.
Actually, Jim, thank you for joining our Kamen Rider podcast.
All right.
All right. With that,
goodbye.
See you next time.
Bye. Goodbye.